Mamas, New Year's is finally here. 2019 has arrived. And what does that mean? New Year's resolutions. If you have a New Year's resolution to shed some pounds, get that pre-baby body back, start a fitness journey, or enhance the one that you were already on, do that with Zaya Activewear. One of the most motivational ways I can think of, and it helps me stay active in the gym and stay on track, is getting brand new activewear. There's nothing more motivational than showing up to the gym in brand new activewear you feel comfortable and confident in that you want to flaunt off. I love getting Zaya Active deliveries. If you haven't heard of Zaya Active before, they are a Utah-based, right here in Salt Lake City, active lifestyle brand, and they have the most incredible leggings and so much more. They have a men's line. They just recently launched Zaya Kids, and they have accessories. Try the Uplift if you haven't already. But if you are looking for super high quality premium activewear, Zaya is your place. You can try Zaya at myzaya.com/Emma Dawn.
Today we are here at Mountain West Hard Cider in Salt Lake City.
Yes, I'm so excited because I, coming from Portland, am a cider girl. And this is the one and only that I have found here in Utah. So I'm super pumped to be here. I'm a little fangirl right now. So I'm so happy to be here. And we are in the cidery today. We are here. We've got some bottles of some cider. We're going to be chatting about them and drinking them. And don't mind that it's 9:30, y'all. It's fine.
Come on, Tara. I told you not to tell anybody.
Hey now.
It's
Okay.
9:30 at night.
Yes, we'll go with that.
Lies.
We're full of
We're
lies.
brunching.
Yes.
It's brunch.
I haven't had breakfast yet, so
It's all good.
I'm going to go eat after this.
Yes.
So we are literally brunching.
We are literally brunching.
And we are here with Jennifer.
Hello.
Hi. And you are, what is your role here? Are you owner, manager?
So Jennifer Carlton, just want to say pleasure to have you guys.
Thanks.
My husband and I are founders of Mountain West Hard Cider. With that comes every other responsibility. So I'm janitor, I am production, sales, you name it. So I've got my hands in everything. But yeah, my husband and I founded Mountain West Hard Cider in 2014. So we opened our doors in 2015. So we're about 3.5 years into this fun venture.
That's so
Fun.
exciting.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with your labeling, by the way.
Oh my gosh, I love our labeling too. Early on, when this was just a concept, I wanted to make sure that our brand was kind of representative of who we are. Very simple, clean lines. I didn't want like talking trees or trees throwing apples at each other. I just wanted a simple, sophisticated, kind of gender neutral look and feel.
Yeah, you nailed it.
So thank you. No, we worked with a great firm here locally, Love Communications, that just saw our vision and were able to create it. So they've done an amazing job.
We should talk to them about our labels.
Right? Yep. So we are, we're in the works of some private labeling projects.
We
don't want
are.
to give it away
Don't.
yet.
Our last episode was We Have Secrets.
Yes. Shh. Yes.
So don't.
My husband looked at that and he's like, oh my gosh, could that be any more clickbait?
I never thought I was going to be into clickbaiting,
It
but
works.
I take like the most profound moment of our podcast to me, and I use that as the title. And there have been titles of Is My Baby in Danger?
Right.
We Have Secrets.
Right.
And it's just, and I guess it's clickbait. Maybe clickbait comes natural to me because I hate it when I see it because
Do you fall victim to it?
yes, all the time. And I religiously follow people who do like those cheesy little YouTube videos like David Dobrik and so like I watch something stupid at night before I go to bed.
Yes.
So I don't have like thoughts of
Crazy.
running my business and appointments and meeting with people and like just all the pressure. So I watch something really stupid and it's like shooting your friends with paintball guns or like setting a basketball hoop on fire. Like those are his videos.
Right.
But like they're so clickbait, and it frustrates me so bad because I'm like, wait, I thought something really cool was going to happen, and it's just
not
a water balloon fight in his friend's backyard.
Right,
Like, it's something
right.
super stupid.
That's funny.
That is funny. My mindless end of night is the Kardashians, so I might need to, switch
Yeah.
over, find some new material. But
Oh, I watch the Kardashians. I'm obsessed with the Real Housewives.
Real Housewives, of course.
I love the Real Housewives.
Anything you don't have to think about before you go to bed
Yes.
is always a good thing.
See, I'm so glad we connected because I get all kinds of shit all the time from Mike or anybody else because I watch the trashiest TV. But I watch it because it's trash TV. Like, I don't have
It's
to
intentional.
think. I can, like, look at somebody else's, like, life circling down the drain for 45 minutes, and then I can go to bed feeling a little bit better about myself at night.
Right. Well, and I think also, like, as women who not only have, like, real corporate jobs, but then we also have our side hustle, like our passion projects. Like, our minds are constantly full, constantly going. So to have something that we can do that is mindless and kind of unwind from all of that, I think is super important. Because otherwise we'll just, we would just be here drinking cider all day long, and you would, like, Jennifer would have to, like, drag us out. Be like, all right, guys.
See, I
Be
would
the first
hate
time.
it. We did a little tour of the cidery, I guess is that what you call it?
Yep,
a cidery? And it is so charming.
It's so cute. You
I
guys have
would,
done
like-
an amazing job.
Thank you.
I would so hang out here.
You'd have to kick me out.
There's, like, cool art on the walls. There's a cider garden.
Who does the art, by the way? Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our missions, if you will, when we came to be, was to make sure we supported the local community as much as possible. In addition to being a Utah-owned company, we try to source all of our ingredients locally. We also wanted to support local business owners, local people who just need a platform. So we are part of Gallery Stroll. I know we're kind of off that downtown Broadway, Gallery Stroll Central, but we do get a lot of folks come through here who are able to come and have a tasting of cider and view our artists. We switch out artists every quarter throughout the year. We don't charge the artists to showcase their art. We don't take anything off the top. It's free to them to.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
Yeah.
so great.
It's fun for us too because every artist that comes through, you could have somebody that's very whimsical or very landscape, and it changes the whole vibe in here, and it's
I
always
bet.
so cool. So people
Yeah.
look forward to coming in, seeing what's new on the walls, and so Gallery Stroll between 5 and 7, the third Friday of every month, you can come and meet the current artist, and obviously if you want to buy, you can. But if not, just have a cider and check out the great local artists we have here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we should
there's
definitely
some
get that
funky
info
pieces.
in the description so people
We
who are
will.
listening can get that on their calendars.
Yeah, I'll take a note of that. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, because that sounds amazing. Because that'll be my note to come.
Yeah,
That'll be my reminder to show up.
I'll do that. When I lived in Vegas, they used to have, like, a Friday thing once a month, and it was super funky, super cool, like food trucks, like
Yeah.
sculptors, like, hanging out on the sidewalks.
Awesome.
So cool.
It was super
Yeah.
cool.
We're trying to create that vibe here. We're little limited in like what we can do
Sure,
currently.
sure.
We can only do a 5-ounce tasting, but we have secrets too. We're working on changing that. So hopefully in the next
Cool.
couple months we'll have a more open environment here where you can come and enjoy a full pint or,
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So more to
just,
come on that. But
Just kind of catching up to the rest of the world here.
Yeah.
Here in Utah. And I'm also going to start putting the link to the website where you can go in and you can, what is it, like an online petition
Yes.
to sign up and support the mission to change the liquor and alcohol laws here in Utah.
Yep. We need to keep that in our description.
Nobody needs to be stumbling down the sidewalk in a public
No.
place,
No.
but we need to be able to act like grown-up adults.
Yes. Yes. It's
Agreed.
accountability and responsibility for our own actions.
Yeah.
It's amazing what actually most of the world is capable of
Right.
outside of Utah.
And what I think is funny is, like, Mike has a friend, my boyfriend Mike has a friend who lives on 9th South. Well, for now, his house recently caught on fire. But,
Oh, no.
no, they're going to get it fixed. It's fine. But there's always, like, homeless people, like, wandering around down by his house. And I'm like, you live in a very funky area, my friend. But, like, they'll sit there with, like, 40s.
Oh, yeah.
Or clearly, engaging in some bath salt activity. And I'm like, why are they not getting in trouble? But responsible, reasonable, good time having adults are constantly punished here.
Yep.
It's very strange.
Very strange.
I think that their priorities are a little off. The fact that mothers here can't bring their strollers in because they're underage and, purchase something.
Right.
And meanwhile, we're in a very residential community, at least a fastly growing residential community. And, I'm sorry, leave your stroller outside. That is one place where I will break the rules.
Right.
You can come in.
Yes.
You get in here.
Come on in.
You want a piece of art or a sweatshirt? Come on in.
Come on in. Also, get your cider fill.
Yeah.
Stroll at home with your baby. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. So, Jennifer, I'm curious, how did you guys get started with the cidery? Is it a passion that you and your husband had always had? How did this all come about?
Yeah, so I have never been a big beer drinker. I just never liked the way it made me feel. I don't have celiacs, but I definitely have a sensitivity to gluten.
Okay.
So I was kind of always searching for that alternative to beer. Drank a lot of wine. Don't get me wrong, I love wine. I love my vodka, but, there's only so much you can drink.
Yes.
So it really started as kind of just liking the taste, liking the way it made me feel. My husband and I were both in the financial services industry, and with that we had the ability to travel, and through our travels through Europe and Ireland specifically, we were in Ireland, I fell in love with the ciders that they had there. Not just the big national Balmers, the big brands, but they also had these little cider offerings at every little bar, tavern that you'd go to, these, little cities throughout Ireland. And I just liked it. So we came back here, fast forward, Utah does not have much cider at all.
No,
and what they did have was not what I wanted. They had the really sweet, kind of sugary in your face ciders that, the trees throwing apples and things.
Yes.
Which I didn't care for. So we just, we did a little research.
Yeah.
There is a small apple growing region here in Utah, and talked to them to see if they could supply our apples. We fast forward, we started our own business. The passion was always there to do our own thing eventually.
Yeah.
Just what that
thing was
didn't come to light until a couple of years ago. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a fun industry to be in. It's ever growing. I mean, you were saying with your experience in the Pacific Northwest, especially there, the Great Lakes around the Northeast, there's these large pockets of cideries. I'm proud to say that we're the only dedicated cidery here in Utah.
So great.
Yeah, it's fun. And we make the type of product that I like to drink. So.
Good. Well, and you have some for us to taste today, so why don't we talk about this first one?
Sure. So the first one you're going to try, we like to go in our tastings lightest to kind of heaviest as far as mouthfeel. The first one you're going to try is 7 Mile. 7 Mile is our session cider. It's funny because the term session was originally coined in the beer world in Germany, and what it meant essentially was you can have multiple of that in a single drinking session. So they tended to be lower alcohol offerings.
Got it. Okay.
I think we were one of the first ciders to actually put a session label on our product. I now see like 2 or 3 out there. But anyway, so 7 Mile is our session cider. It's a little lower in alcohol than our other offerings. It comes in at 5%, where our others are between 6 and 9. And traditionally, ciders are between 6 and 8%.
Right.
7 Mile, what you'll find, it's very light, very crisp, very refreshing. A lot more of a green apple note. It's like a Granny Smith. It's really nice.
Yeah, I was just smelling it, and it's very appley. Like
it
you
almost
can pick
looks
up.
like the King's Raven Chardonnay.
It does almost look like it. It has a Chardonnay yellow to it. Yes.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Thank you.
Oh, that's yummy.
It's a lot different than the
You can really
Apple Orchard Rosé that I've been
grabbing 6 packs of.
It definitely
Like
has
this.
that sour apple, that Granny
It does.
Smith apple flavor to it.
And that's a component of, so the thing about our ciders, they're all natural, they're gluten-free, there's no artificial colors, flavors, aromas. So all of our ciders are made out of a blend of apples that we can find here locally from the Mountain West region. So the thing that kind of sets it apart is when you ferment a product, you need a yeast to kind of inoculate the juice, and that kind of starts fermentation, basically taking those sugars and turning into alcohol. But it's also the yeast, obviously, and the apples contribute to the final taste. So literally with every one of our products, we have selected a different yeast to bring out different characteristics in the apples. So you'll find that as we kind of progress through
Oh,
our
interesting. That you
Super
use a different
interesting.
yeast to yield a different flavor.
Yep.
In combination with the apples.
correct. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I learn something new every day. I swear to God.
I know, I love this podcast. It's super fun.
I know. I'm learning all kinds of stuff. I love it.
I can keep coming with it. No, it's funny. I occasionally will sit in the tasting room and just like jump in and help out, and I'll start to take a tour. And our tours
Yeah.
are usually about 30 minutes.
Okay.
I get just long-winded, and I've got the tasting room people like, it's time for them to leave. You know,
Right,
you're
right.
going overboard.
Just handcuff them to the wall.
Right.
But there's a lot of fun information. I mean, cider making, it's much like wine. It's just instead of grapes, it's apples.
Yeah.
So it's the
Yeah.
same concept. But yeah, ours is fun though. Like I said, we source locally, but with that, our fruit blend changes throughout the year, which makes it fun too, because we
Yeah.
know in the beginning of the year we might have, say, more red apples. Later in the year we might have more green apples. So the color changes, slight variation in flavors, but it's always like every batch is a little different, which I think is really cool. It like adds to our kind of craft.
I love that. I love that. I feel like smaller wineries are the same way too, right? In the growth of the grape, the environment, all of that kind of stuff. It'll essentially stay the same, but it's just slight variations, which kind of I like. I like knowing that it's like, oh, this is gonna be just a little bit different this time.
It's more crafty, more original,
Yes.
more
Yeah.
authentic than
Yeah.
something you can just pick up.
Yep.
That's the same way, mass produced, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Which then you always get into like, what other kind of crap are they putting in there?
Yeah.
Right. Right. I like that. Have always loved, supporting local businesses, and to the extent of, sourcing locally, whether it be, the apples or the yeast or the designers of your logos and, all of that. I think keeping all of that local is so important. And I love that. And you guys are, just one of the many small companies that we've had the pleasure of and the luxury of talking to that do that. And I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. It just
Yeah,
makes
it's been
my
super
little
fun.
Grinch heart grow that much bigger.
Yeah, she's an ice cold queen.
I love you. So am I normally. At 7:00 this morning, I was an ice cold queen too. But,
Yes.
I've got cider now, so we're good.
Right?
No, community is very important. to
Yes,
us, too.
it really is. Yeah. Cool. So we'll also grab pictures of all of these too.
Oh, absolutely.
And put them
So
up.
go check out our Instagram at Mommy Wines Podcast.
Yes.
You can also follow us personally. I'm at Emma_Dawn. And Tara,
Is _nourished.soul.
yep, there you go. You
All
can say,
day, every
I'll let
day.
you say that one.
It's a mouthful. It is. Cool. Well, let's do another one.
Does Mountain West have an Instagram account? Can we follow you guys
We
on social media?
I think it's MTNWST, Mountain West. And then, we're on Facebook. I think we even have Snapchat now.
Oh,
we're on
yeah.
all the...
Wow.
Yeah, we're cool over
Yeah,
here.
you're super hip.
This is always the best sound. I don't know if it's
Right?
going to...
Oh, yeah. It
I
caught
think we
it.
got that. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Fun stuff. So the next one we're going to be trying is our Cottonwood Dry Hop Cider.
This is the one that this is the first one that I tried from you guys.
This is a
So,
good one.
yes, I
This
do
is
like this
this is one of our most popular. Adding hops to a cider is not uncommon at all. In fact, I would argue you're not a cidery that should be even on the map if you don't have a hopped version. For us, we again source locally. We receive our hops from Colorado. They're Centennial hops. We add them in final stages of fermentation, so the hops are not overwhelming, or it's very light, very delicate. It's a nice herbaceous like aromas, a little bit of citrusy. I also get a juniper kind of finish, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of our most popular because what we're finding is a lot of those beer enthusiasts or like craft beer folks who are looking for something different. They're gravitating toward Cottonwood as an alternative to beer.
It's very refreshing and light.
Yes. Yeah.
And like for someone like I also don't like beer. I've never been a fan. So for me, going to like a backyard barbecue or like a sporting event or something like that was always kind of like a pain in the ass for me, because I could either drink wine out of a solo cup and feel like that weird one out.
Which also doesn't, let's just be honest, I mean, it's going to do the job, but it's not going to taste amazing out of a solo cup.
Right. But this is totally, like, I've turned to ciders before, and I've never been like a cider enthusiast or like a beer enthusiast, but I might become one. Because this is fun.
This is really good.
Literally like obsessed with your packaging. I think we should go down there and talk to that person.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
they did a beautiful job.
Like the can, if you can tell, like there's like a picture in the background.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's Utah.
That is. So all of our ciders are named after canyons in the state of Utah. So obviously everybody recognizes Cottonwood, 7 Mile, Ruby, Desolation, even Stillwater is a canyon. So what we tried to do was, with the imagery in the background, is take there's a photo of the canyon. So a lot of, if you go to our website, www.mountainwestcider.com, you can actually see all the imagery for each of our lines, and there's also little descriptors there of each of our products. So,
and I love a hop cider. So again, I think fate has brought all of us non-beer drinkers together to talk about ciders, because I am not a beer drinker either. And so when I first started to fall in love with ciders, and I really loved them, but again, the big mass-produced ones are all just way too sweet, way too sugary.
Very sweet, very, like, solid.
Yes.
Like, it feels very heavy when you drink them.
Yeah. And then as we started to kind of, learn more about them and find more about them in Portland and drinking them and loving them, I was like, I'm in. And then I remember the first time I tried a hopped one, and I was like, this is like the perfect blend of a beer and a cider. So it's not that uber sweet, but it's not that super hoppy. Like my husband drinks like the,
double IPAs.
That like your face like just like shrivels up. It's like so bitter. But he even loves the hop ciders, and he's like a big like IPA drinker. And
Joe, I know you're listening. Don't be so bitter.
He is an avid listener, so he'll be super jealous of this. But he loves these too. He loves the hop ciders. So I'm going to have to let him know that you guys
will have to send some home with you.
Oh, he'll be so happy.
It's very refreshing.
Yeah, it's really great. And it's not super hoppy. Like, that's always my biggest complaint with beers is the hoppiness. I don't love that at all. And this is so smooth and so mild. And then you get, of course, like all the wonderful characteristics of the cider too. I love it.
That was intentional. We do add the hops in secondary fermentation, so they're not in there the entire time that it's fermenting, because it was actually, we did try it and it was a little overwhelming. So, but I definitely just wanted something that kind of gave a little nod to the beer world and attracted some new customers, which it has, and fans. So we're really happy with Cottonwood. Very happy with Cottonwood. And then the other thing I'll say, so obviously adding hops to cider is a common thing, but now a lot of folks are getting into herbs and spices, botanicals, and so we're actually testing a recipe right now. Yeah, we hope to come to market later this year with, while all of our ciders right now are dry, we do recognize there is a appetite for a sweet cider. So later this year, against our cider makers' best wants and judgment, we are going to be coming to market with a sweet cider, and that is going to have some botanicals and additional fruit components. So we're excited about
That'll
that.
be fun, though. That'll be fun. I think it's nice to kind of have, two ends of the spectrum, right? You've got kind of your hoppy ciders, still the really dry fruit, the apple fruit, and then have, because there's always going to be the people out there that are like, I love the tree throwing apple brand. It's my favorite. And you're like, that's terrible.
When they came out with a rosé, I about died for it. And when I mean that, I mean like literally died. I had the worst hangover of my entire life.
It's so much sugar.
It is a lot. But I was like, whoa, rosé in like a cool bottle that I could like hang out with. I'm down for that. But
Yeah.
I haven't had it since because it tried to murder me.
Well, that's exciting. So when do you guys plan for that to come to market?
There's a lot of equipment needs we have to figure out, but it'll probably be fall this year.
Okay.
We're targeting fall.
Okay.
So
Cool.
more to come.
We'll keep our eyes open.
You got to keep the passion alive, but also please your clientele.
We do.
Yes.
And to your point, there is a market out there. We want to make everybody happy, and there's a way to do that. So
You don't want to leave revenue on the table either by not having that as an option.
This is true.
I think it's not that dry. I think it's good though. Like
It's really good.
like this is something you can hang out and sip on for a while.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
easy drinking.
And one of the things that I love about cider too is, when I did, before I found ciders and I would have, a beer of some sort, I always just felt like I'd eaten an entire meal. Like I just felt full and I felt super burpy and, all of those
Bloated.
things. Yeah, bloated.
It's not
And
cute.
I never, it's not an attractive, especially, before I'm at the hubs and you're trying to like, be out at the bar or whatever, go on a date, have a glass of beer, and you're just like a belching, bloated mess. Like, that's not an attractive look. Like,
Hey,
let's just
Shrek,
be
let's go on a
honest.
second date.
It's just not an attractive look. So I feel like cider just doesn't do that.
No, it doesn't.
I love.
And so what's great about cider too is because obviously there's apple fruits in there. There's all these antioxidants, much like wine.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some health benefits. Everything in moderation, of course, but. So it's easy drinking. It's, like I said earlier, all natural, gluten-free. I mean, how can you go wrong? So,
You guys, I have to share something with you that I have honestly fallen in love with. This year, through my blog, I was given the opportunity to try Bellamy's Aqua Lumiere. I have the hydrating serum, the hydrating cleanser, and the facial hydrating lotion, and I love every single piece. I suffer from super dry, textured skin, and it has oftentimes looked lifeless and dull, but since I've been using Bellamy twice a day for the past 3 to 4 months, I have become obsessed. My skin is firmer, my skin tone is even, it's bright and clear and soft, and it's amazing. If you haven't tried Bellamy's Clean Beauty, try it. People are raving about this product. You can try it today at bellamy.com/Emmadon.
Well, if you can't tell in my voice, I have a little scratch in my throat, so all these antioxidants are, you're just nursing me back to health.
Right? We had our wine yesterday. You're getting your cider today. You're going to be bright as rain tomorrow.
I know. All these antioxidants.
Right?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so what's this one?
Okay, this is our Ruby Hard Cider. It is our flagship cider. This is our most popular. It's a great cider, dry cider, English style.
Yeah,
I'm excited because I gravitate towards anything that's red.
Yeah.
Like this
And it is
label
beautiful red.
and the packaging and like what it's called, like I would pick
You're
that.
swooning over this one, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't know what's inside yet.
You'll get much more of a red apple, bigger, kind of bolder, fuller mouthfeel. A bit of almost like a honeycomb finish, not sweet finish, but it's really easy drinking.
It's almost mead-like. Carbonated.
A little bit.
Mead situation.
It's not as, I feel like meads are a little bit more
Sweet.
soury too, right?
Mm.
It's good. It's
I'm glad you like it.
It
It's
is
super
good.
This is our most popular. It's, you can find our Ruby, throughout the state of Utah. Most bars and restaurants definitely carry Ruby and another, if not all, of our products. So
Awesome.
Our distribution's pretty good in Utah. So it's exciting.
That's super exciting.
Yeah, 6.8 is the ABV. So
Okay.
all of these are really easy drinking, but they do sneak up on you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. That's how cider rolls, though. Especially when you start getting into some of the bigger ones. There was one, I think it might have been a Portland local one, and I think it was like a 10%.
Ooh.
It was, and it's so good, like smooth and not overly sweet, and it's really, really good. And I brought it home for the first time, and both my husband and I were like, we should split that one. Like, we're not.
It was so
Neither one
bad.
of us is getting like a full like bottle deep in that one. So
It used to be bad because when I was younger, hanging out with my friends, going out in college, I never drank beer. But my thing was, and a lot of like the college bar scene didn't have like wines and stuff, so I would always drink Captain Morgan's Tattoo and Dr. Pepper. Very interesting. I was very young. But all of my friends would be hanging out for long periods of time, watching sports, having bonfires, things like that. And I would always be like white girl wasted by the end of the night because they would be like, oh, let's do shots. And I'm like, I'm already doing shots. Like every time I take a sip, it's like a shot. So
Those are those college experiences that, like, I will no longer drink vodka because of, or tequila, just the
Mine's
thought of
Captain
it.
Morgan's Tattoo.
Yeah.
I tried to find it in the liquor store here, and they don't even have it, which is nice because
That's a
it's a
good thing,
danger.
right?
But yeah, the 25th flavor of Dr. Pepper
yeah.
is Captain Morgan's
No,
Tattoo.
thank you.
Yeah, me, not anymore. But yeah, I would be like wasted, like white girl wasted at the end of the night, and it was just out of control. But like, it's nice to like hang out and like sip a glass of wine or have like a cider in the summertime.
Yeah.
I love ciders in the summer just because like I can
too.
sit on like my front porch. It's hot outside, sip some cider.
And I
Very
think because
refreshing.
they kind of fall in the same lines of like a white wine as far as like the crispness and the lightness of them. I feel like that's probably why. But I totally agree. Like in the summer, one of our favorite things is to float rivers. Like we just get in our tubes and we float the rivers, and we've got like a little floaty inflatable cooler that gets loaded up with, the beer drinkers loaded up with their Coors Lights, and then us non-beer drinkers loaded up with ciders, and they're perfect. They're perfect.
We should go to Jackson Hole this summer.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Well, now that we're in cans, too, we're very
I know,
portable.
very
Yeah.
portable. I love it.
I
Great
love
for
the
those
can.
outdoor enthusiasts.
Right?
I love that it's not a
Perfect outdoor.
small can either.
Yeah.
Less glittery.
Real can, 16 ounces.
We're pro Earth around here. You don't want to litter all those extra cans.
No. Why do you have two when you can just have one?
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it real around here, people.
I do like drinking cider in the summer. Well, I drink cider all year round, but I definitely love 7 Mile for the summer. It is that lighter, kind of easier drinking.
Yep.
Can still kind of mow the grass after having one or two.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah. So a lot of people do think that, or kind of have that perception that it's a summer drink, but we produce it all year round, and it's good with a turkey dinner
Sure
at Thanksgiving,
Sure is.
That would be great.
It is actually.
Heck yeah.
Ruby's one of my favorites for that. It's extremely versatile.
Bowl of chili. Yeah.
Oh, the traditional chili and beer. Just sub out that beer for a cider.
Yes.
Well, so the next one I'm pouring for you now is our Desolation. This is our fruit cider, which is kind of funny because, of course, it's a fruit cider. It's a apple base, but what I mean by that is we've just added another fruit component.
Prickly pear.
Prickly pear, cactus fruit.
Mike's friend has a cabin up there.
In Desolation?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we partnered with Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance.
Whoa.
Oh, do you like that? Little bit of like a
good.
honeydew melon flavor almost. Yeah.
My voice is so melatonin right now, but the inflections are within me right now. Seriously.
That is
good.
delicious.
This is our latest release, and it is very good. Again, we've added prickly pear, cactus fruit juice to it, it gives it a little bit of a melon flavor. But the best part of this product is we partnered with Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance, which, if you're not aware of that local nonprofit, they're like 10,000 strong in membership, and what they're trying to do is protect and preserve our wild Utah lands. And part of one of the canyons that they help to protect is desolation. And of course, bear's ears. We've heard that all in the news. They're the driving force behind that. So anyway, we partnered with them and we said, we really want to help in your efforts, and what can we do? Let's make a cider. So we made Desolation using ingredients that are common to the canyon, prickly pear, and 10% of every bottle, the proceeds from every bottle sold goes back to SUA. So last year we donated almost $12,000 in donations. So
That's fantastic.
Great.
yeah,
That's so
it's a
cool.
fun collaboration with them, and anything we can do to help keep and preserve our wild southern Utah lands is a good thing.
Heck yes. I love it.
I actually met my son's dad while I was living in Bryce. I took a break from my grown-up financial life and I thought for sure I was over corporate America. So I moved to Las Vegas and decided I was going to become a flight attendant, and I was going to travel the world for the rest of my life. Well, I'm a chicken, so that didn't happen because I
don't like to fly.
Well,
That would be
it was concerning. You know, I'm one of those, I'm like a mouse. I'll talk a big game, and then, when the time comes to actually do it, I chicken out. So I took an international sales position for a resort there, and that's where I met my son's dad, down in Bryce. And it's a beautiful area, but I've been hearing so much about how they are trying to dig oil and, kind of build houses and neighborhoods and stuff all over this national park. And most of southern Utah, nobody really knows. It's just like a desert, but most of it's national park land.
Right.
And they are miles and miles and acres and acres and acres of land big. They're ginormous. And they're beautiful, but it has been a battle between people who want to preserve that and keep it natural and original and safe, and people who want to kind of develop that and turn it into resort-style living and mine the oil, or kind of just knock all of that natural glory down.
It's so depressing. And coming from Colorado, where we saw that happen, coming from Oregon, where we saw that happen, I mean, it happens everywhere. And I love that you guys have kind of partnered. Sorry.
You're getting my sickness.
I think you guys are spending too much time together, sharing germs.
Right? Well, yeah, and then you got, kid germs on top of it. One of them goes to daycare.
Damn kids.
Disgusting.
With petri dishes.
They are. They're absolutely disgusting little beings. But I love that you guys have partnered with this organization, and that's a big donation. I mean, that speaks a lot about not only that organization, but you guys as the cidery, and getting the name out and getting the partnership out. That's amazing. I
Now,
love that.
do you have a place on your website where people can just donate directly?
Actually, we don't, but that's a great idea. I'm sure my marketing gal's listening right now, so
Okay,
get that done.
Well, I will
To-do
make
list?
sure to put Mountain West Hard Cider's link in the description box. So if you guys want to order Desolation, do you ship outside of Utah?
We do not do any shipping, no, and at this point we're just in Utah, so. But you can come to the cidery here at 425 North, 400 West, and pick up a bottle, or like I said earlier, we're broadly distributed throughout all the liquor stores throughout Utah, so.
Yeah.
That's so
Utah
great.
locals.
Yes, I love it. So do you guys have all of your ciders in the liquor stores?
All
Are there any exclusive just to the tasting room?
There are exclusives just to the
Okay.
tasting room. All of our year-round ciders, so 7 Mile, Cottonwood, Ruby, and Destillation, are in liquor store. But we
Awesome.
have, like, what we're about to try right now is Stillwater, which is our barrel age series.
Yes.
That's a small batch artisanal cider. So the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, they only pick up large quantities of things. So we'll always have kind of one specialty available here
Awesome.
at the cidery
I love that.
for tasting and purchase. So
Cool.
Nice.
so this is a fun one.
You can feel a
Moving
little
on.
special.
Right?
We did talk about earlier that 10% cider that
Yeah.
you had tried. So this is a
Yeah.
9%.
Yes.
It is our Stillwater. It's a part of our barrel age series. Every year we change it out. This year we partnered with Wyoming Whiskey, and what we do is we still ferment the cider. We still process the cider normally. What we don't do is we don't carbonate it. We age it flat or still
Sure. Okay.
for 6 months. So it's aged in those oak barrels, and what it does is it takes on some of the characteristics of whatever product was in there previously. It's very common in the beverage industry overall. For instance, a local distillery here wants to buy our barrels after we've aged our cider in them because they
Oh.
want to make a liquor that has apple notes. So
I noticed that when we did the Outlaw tour.
Yes. Yeah.
And he said it was very common too to kind of pass along and recycle those
Recycle.
barrels because
Yeah.
it gives such a unique flavor.
And I freaking love that, like, as we are, making all of these connections throughout the
Right.
community. Like, we were at Toasted Barrel yesterday doing our photo shoot, which had the Outlaw Distillery barrels.
Yes, it was
And
so cool.
We've done their tour, and we've seen other barrels in their facility. And to come here today and have you talk about, using other barrels for distilleries and sharing your barrels, like, I love it.
I'm excited to see like what next year or the next 2 years has, because if you keep rotating these bottles, the flavor's going to keep getting more unique and unique and unique every time.
I know, I love it.
changes every time. So with this one, definitely on the note. Yep, you just got your nose in there, which
Yeah, I
don't
did.
be shy.
Wow.
Yeah, so you definitely pick up the whiskey
Yes.
kind of notes,
Yeah.
the oak
I'm a little
barrel,
No, don't be scared. Oh my God, it
little
smells
caramel
so
and
good.
vanilla. It is flat. You'll notice there aren't any bubbles in there. There's no carbonation. This is
Holy shit, that is so good.
Really?
this is really
I was
good.
waiting for you because I'm
Oh
scared.
my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, seriously, you've got to get your asses down here and get a bottle of this. This is so good.
Whoa. Okay. I was super scared because when I took a sniff, and I know like I probably shouldn't sniff everything, but I'm a sniffer.
No, you have to.
Definitely
But
with this one, you
I
have
thought
to
it was
smell
gonna
yeah.
be way stronger than it is, but
No,
it's smooth
so
and
good.
like
That's what's hard.
velvety kind of. It's very nice.
This is dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. That's why we put this little cage cap on it, so you don't have to feel forced to drink the entire 750 milliliter bottle. But if you want to, next to a fire, by all means. But yeah, it's
Safely
definitely
already in your home in your pajamas.
Yep, exactly. This is a fun one. We're really proud of this version of Stillwater, and I like it exactly how you guys are drinking it, neat.
Yes.
That's also how I like my whiskey, just kind of poured in a glass, room temperature, sipping.
Yep.
Not to say it's not good cold or over the rocks, but I prefer it this way. You definitely get all those great whiskey notes. So.
It is so good.
You should keep a bottle of this in your desk.
Yes.
So we were talking because when I was a child, I always thought like you made it. Like you were the top of the corporate ladder or you were somebody who was important. And like that was always, I never knew what I wanted to be, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to like have a fancy office and have like a bar cart or like have the desk where like I had like a stash of like scotch and wines. And we were talking about it because she's taking what
I took a bottle of the Outlaw whiskey.
Distillery. She took it to work, and I'm like, oh man, you've made it. And
I'm also old and have zero fucks to give about what I keep in my desk at work. So.
If you can drink at work and not get fired, you've literally made it in life. Luckily, I work mostly from home.
Right.
For now.
Right. Yeah.
But
the culture in our office, I feel like there is a change in the wind, if you will, as far as the folks that they are hiring. Not to say that the Utah culture isn't present there as well, but I think even then it's like my boss is like, okay, so this is who I've hired. She's going to keep whiskey in her desk. But she's really, really good at her job, so I can't complain.
I love a more just freelance style of thinking and living.
Yeah.
Like coming from Cleveland, it is such a city of coexistence.
Right.
Where I had friends from all over the world, all different ethnicities and culture and religion, and it was just fun. Cleveland made it fun to interact with people who are different.
Right.
And they really embrace differences in a way that I really appreciate now that I'm an adult. When I was in high school, I was the anywhere but here girl.
Yes.
I wanted to get out and go to California or New York City, but now that I'm an adult and I'm starting to raise my own son, I really kind of appreciate that togetherness that Cleveland has to offer, and just the East Coast in general. But
Jennifer, are you and your husband both from Utah?
No, actually, I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay.
Originally, he's from Pennsylvania, just outside Harrisburg, which is central Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But he's been in the Army, so he's lived everywhere. But yeah, no, we met in Philadelphia. We moved out here just about 10 years ago.
Okay.
So Utah is home, and I do think that we've seen a lot of shifts and changes here in Salt Lake, especially. And it is a cute little, communal vibe, and it is growing. We've got a lot more restaurants and bars and more people navigating and living, downtown, which is adding to the diversity.
Oh, the influx of population. So I looked for a place here in Utah 2 years ago, and I looked in Harriman, and I'm like, okay, this is a cute small town. Just in 2 years, I've come back, and I now live in Harriman. It is fully blended in. There's no gap. There's nothing.
There's no delineation between
townhouses, apartments, condos.
It's all there.
An entire apartment building went up just from the time I've lived here.
It's insane.
You look at the city skyline, and the amount of cranes going up there, and they're
everywhere.
all for housing.
Yeah.
So it's a fun time that we're being here, and I think we're about to see some massive growth, and it's just fun to be part of it. And
it really is. It's super exciting. It reminds me a lot of Portland when I first moved there in 2000. Still small enough that you feel safe. I don't feel, even in downtown, I've spent enough evenings in downtown, I don't feel unsafe in downtown Salt Lake.
I've always had an uncomfortable safeness about Utah. There's something wrong because there's not something wrong happening. When you're from Cleveland, you hear sirens, and there's and there's people walking around, and there's weird stuff happening, and there's hipsters and leather jackets and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And I'm like, okay, I've gotten comfortable with the chaos.
Yes.
But here there's
very little chaos.
Very little chaos. So I'm like, okay, now I'm uncomfortable because I'm too safe.
Right. Well, and I feel like it's funny because people are always like, well, what's it like? What's it like living there? How is it? Do you like it? This, that, and the other. And I always feel so funny. I think I said this earlier. It's safe. It's clean. Normal. The things that people are searching for and striving for.
Yeah.
I'm kind of those are on my con list.
I feel like me and Tara connected in this way because I've lived in almost every single city, major city. I've lived in South Philadelphia. I've lived in Buffalo and all over. I've traveled all over this country back and forth, and Utah is the only place people ever ask me about.
Yes.
Yes. They're always so you live in Utah now, right? And I'm like,
Yes.
Like, yes
Yeah.
and no. Because you know what that follow-up question
Yes.
always is.
Right.
No.
but I love meeting people like you and seeing what you're doing here, and kind of, even though you're kind of in this outside circle, you're still like, your focus is on community and Utah in general, and just bettering it for any way that you can.
Yeah, I love it.
I like this kind of subculture we're creating.
Yes.
And we're
Yes.
in the midst of.
I
It's
love
very
it.
interesting.
Yes. The more.
Maybe I'll have a different answer for people when they ask me when I've been here 10 years. Be like, so how do you like Utah? Well, I don't know what my answer is going to be in 10
right?
years.
In 10 years? Who knows? Yeah, and it's been crazy to watch how fast Portland grew and changed in 17 years. You know, I moved there in 2000, and we left just last January, and it's grown and changed so much. And it'll be interesting to watch Salt Lake and see what happens here in that same regard.
Yeah, I hope we still remain Salt Lake, though.
I hope so, too.
Don't get me wrong, I do like Portland. I've been there a couple times, but
Yeah.
I like Salt Lake for its uniqueness. So,
I do too. I do too. I think that there's definitely, again, there's a change in the wind, which I can get behind 100% and support, and to find a way to be a part of that in some level. And I think this podcast definitely helps with that. We're meeting some amazing, phenomenal women.
We get to meet like the coolest people ever.
Yeah, we really do.
I am saving our first male guest for Real AF.
Yes. Yes.
So,
They are-
sorry, all of you male listeners. You gotta wait until he comes on first, because
Right.
he hand-delivered my coffee in person.
Isn't he just the most adorable person ever?
And he,
too?
like, brought his kids.
I know.
It was the most
It would be
charming
so
thing.
great.
And I felt so bad because I was totally naked. So, he knocks
you
on the
need to
door.
elaborate. Yeah.
So I don't answer my door. I don't know enough people here or know them well enough to where they would feel comfortable just showing up at my house. So when I get a knock on the door, I assume it's a missionary. And I've already told them I'm a lesbian. I already told them that...
They answered it with your glass of wine.
yeah, I've answered it with wine. I've told them the most ridiculous things just because I love joking with anybody who randomly knocks on my door. Because that is my home, it's my private space. If you're going to knock on my door out of the blue, you're going to get some jokes. And I'm not a lesbian. I have a baby. But
you can be a lesbian
you
and
can,
have
yeah.
a baby.
that's right. I bet it would be so much easier. We need to have them on the show because
Yeah.
all of my friends that are lesbians, they have like the most simple relationships. And I'm like, you're so lucky. Because I'm trying to get this man who drives trains and plays hockey to understand my feelings, and he doesn't. But anyway, that's a totally different
We love you,
episode.
Mike.
But, so yeah, like he randomly knocked on my door and I wasn't expecting it. And, I'm at home. I'm naked, so I like hurry up and like I put my robe on and I look out the people and I'm like, oh, it's like a random person, but they have kids. I was like, oh man, I don't know who this is.
What's happening?
And I thought it was like, oh, maybe it's the husband from the girl who lives below me because she's been wanting to get our kids together for a play date. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll put a robe on for that. So I answered it. My hair is like in a messy mom bun. I answer the door. I'm in my robe, fully like nude underneath. And he hands me 2 bags of coffee. And I'm like, oh my God. Thank you so much for hand delivering this. But then I'm like so awkward, so taken back. And Mike is like, you're so rude. Why didn't you invite him in? And I'm like, because I'm fucking naked.
bro.
I did feel bad, and I sent him an apology email saying, thank you so much for hand delivering this. This was very nice of you. I do apologize for my 90-year-old woman bathrobe and the fact that I was naked and didn't invite you in. And he's like, no, I totally get it, but my wife ordered pizza, so my kids were like, oh my God, can we go?
He's so down to earth. I love him so much.
But yeah, Bradley, just so you know, send me a text before you knock on my door again, because I might be naked.
Little warning next time.
Yeah, right? A little
Yeah.
heads up.
But what a great treat. You open your door to...
Right. Hand-delivered coffee?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And they...
Bradley, we need to talk. You need to stop bringing it to the office. I need it hand-delivered.
No. Don't steal my special moment. It's my hand
Awesome.
delivery.
Yes. So what's the last one we have, Jennifer? I'm so excited.
So this
Big
is
bottles are so intriguing.
Yeah, so this is another one of our specialty small batch ciders, and this is also in a 750 milliliter bottle. That's not to say that all of our special limited releases will be, but
Sure.
just so happen this one is. So this is our Green Urban Lunchbox cider. You'll notice the label is much different from the rest of ours.
Very different.
very
it has
different.
a tree on it,
It
and I know
does.
how much you hate those.
And there is no canyon called the Green Urban Lunchbox either.
Right,
But
right.
there is a local nonprofit organization called the Green Urban Lunchbox, and they're a great organization. What they do is they pick and harvest residential and commercial fruit trees. So I always like to talk about my neighbor when we talk about Green Urban Lunchbox, because she's a 75-year-old single woman who has multiple fruit trees on her property.
Living my dream life.
She has cats. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, she obviously can't get out and pick her fruit every year, so it ends up just being a mess, rots on the ground.
Right.
What Green Urban Lunchbox does through their volunteer-only kind of community is they go out to these houses and these commercial buildings through their fruit share program. They will pick your fruit for you, and they'll offer the homeowner a third of the pickings, but a lot of the homeowners are just like, go ahead and take it. So they'll sell it at farm stands and farmers markets. They also make a non-sweet pressed cider or non-alcohol sweet cider. But a lot of it they weren't able to keep up with, or the apples were bruised or otherwise like not pretty for sale.
Yeah.
So they were throwing them away, and we approached them and we're like, hey, look, I know you're getting rid of a lot of your apples. We don't care what that fruit looks like.
Right.
We just want to press it and make a cider out of it. And why don't we collaborate and make good, give back?
Yeah.
So this is our hyper-local hard cider that we collaborated with Green Urban Lunchbox on. So those apples that you're going to taste are apples from within like 20 miles of Salt Lake City. There's over 20 varieties of apples in this blend. It sells for $14.99, but $5 of which goes back to Green Urban Lunchbox, which ultimately supports local food banks here in Salt Lake City and
Your mission
Utah.
is so beautiful. And they might not be the prettiest apples, but they taste damn good.
This one is, it's very apple forward. I would argue probably
Yeah, that was my second sip.
more apple-y.
And I'm
Yeah.
still wow.
Yeah, that is so good.
A little bit of like a almost kiwi note finish.
Yeah.
We wild yeast ferment it and bottle condition it without getting like super geeky on you. But so every one of our ciders I talked to you about, we select a specific yeast for it. With Green Urban Lunchbox, we allow the yeast that are naturally occurring on the fruit in the air when we process it to kind of kickstart or start fermentation. So it's a really fun thing for our cider maker to do.
Yeah.
It's also the challenge is when you do that, there's a risk that it gets away from you. Basically, it picks up aromas and flavors that are maybe undesirable.
Yeah.
But clearly, in this batch, it's been amazing, and the end result is really nice.
It is nice.
It's really
I'm a big
good.
fan of
It's
that
such a different flavor
I like
from
the
any cider I've
Lunchbox.
ever had.
The 7 Mile and the Cottonwood, I think, are
Those
my
are your
top three.
favorite?
Those are my top three.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Desolation.
and Desolation.
Well, you might as well throw Ruby in there while
Well,
you're at it.
I liked
Basically
Ruby, but
have
I
it
didn't want to
covered.
be like, what is it called? Like
Obvious.
a follower. You know, I try to
You're a
keep my...
trailblazer. Yeah, no, I get it.
I try to keep my uniqueness. You know, everyone likes Ruby. It has enough love. I want to pass my love to the ones that are...
Yeah, I'm
Less
obsessed with
appreciated.
Stillwater. Like, obsessed. Obsessed.
I would...
I can't.
See, I can't have Stillwater as a favorite because I would drink too much and I would get a hangover, and I'm almost 30, so I'm trying
You're
to...
such a baby.
I'm
I love you.
trying to not get hangovers like I had in college.
Right,
It's my goal
right. Good.
to get rid of hangovers by the time I'm 30 because then I'm going to be like a real grown-up.
Okay, good. No, I'm
Never
obsessed. I'm obsessed with all of these. This one is like probably the most unique cider I have ever had.
Yeah, I've never tasted anything like
Never. It's so great, and what an awesome like nonprofit group to partner with. Like,
Yeah, they're
that's
an amazing organization. If you're not familiar with them, definitely look them up. And They're usually at the Salt Lake Farmers Market
Okay.
downtown, and
Good.
definitely stop by and say hello. Like I said,
Absolutely.
they're primarily volunteer for communities. So
I love all the charity work you guys do.
I do
On
too.
top of being a small business that's local,
And women run.
I'm
Let's
a
just throw that out
sucker
there.
for a passion project.
Yes.
If you've listened to any of the other episodes, I dive into every passion project, which I'm somebody who is just a passionate person, so it's very overwhelming. But I love a good passion project. My grandpa said, and he said this multiple times to me growing up, that if you spend your time doing something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yes.
And that has always been so in the back of my head every single day.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And we'll
Me too.
definitely put in the description box, we will put a link to both charities, both organizations, because I feel like, again, there's such a draw and a drive for people to find something that they can give back to. And these are both amazing organizations.
They are.
Yeah, and
Thank
we
you.
might be new to Utah, but that doesn't mean we don't want them to not destroy it.
Right.
So we're big supporters of preserving the wild lands here, national parks,
Absolutely.
and also we are a part of a mission to just revamp some of the liquor laws here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will make sure to put all of that in the description box,
Absolutely.
along with your website.
Thank you.
Yes.
And it was so great chatting with you and trying all of these today.
It was my pleasure having you.
I was expecting something very different, but I like it.
Good.
I was going to say, hopefully you're pleasantly surprised.
I'm very surprised. I've tasted some ciders that were more beer-like than cider-like.
Yeah.
But I've liked every single one of these.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm a happy cider girl.
Yeah.
Super
Now,
happy.
all right, let's get off of here, end the show, and let's go shop.
Yes, let's
Okay.
do that. Let's go spend some money. Thanks,
Thank
Jennifer.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
both.